is Shamli Shivalka from Roger's Ideas, and today I'm going to do a detailed review of film scoring masterclass course by Hans Zimmer. But first, let me do a quick introduction to this masterclass platform. Masterclass is a course website where you get to learn about various subjects. What sets it apart from other educational websites out there is that Masterclass is a curated course platform that is taught by the leading experts of given industries, which is really unique in my opinion. Masterclass has two basic pricing structures. If you're looking into taking one particular course, then you can pay $90 and get a lifetime access to that course. Or you can opt for an all-access pass where you have to pay $180 annually and access as many courses as you wish to. I would really advise you to go for the second option, as the content in this platform is simply exceptional and is really hard to choose one specific course. You will like to explore and know more about the courses and the knowledge that is shared by their amazing instructors. But if you're sure about one course, then the first option of $90 will work wonders for you. Just to show you a quick overview of Masterclass homepage, here is the profile. Masterclass community is where you can start a discussion on any course, topic or network with fellow students who have signed up for these courses. You can also gift an all-access pass to a friend or family member who can be benefited from Masterclass. It will be like giving the gift of education and experience to your loved ones. You can access courses which deal in various topics and choose which one you would like to learn or which instructor you would like to listen to. So that was all about the Masterclass homepage. Now coming back to our Masterclass course about film scoring by Hans Zimmer and whether it is worth it for you or not. So let's go and have a look. Hans Zimmer is a German film composer and is often regarded as the best film composer of all the time. He has composed themes for more than 150 movies and has won numerous awards, including the Academy Award. He does live concerts all over the world and has produced compositions often regarded as masterpieces of 21st century music. He constantly works with notable people from the movie industry and is usually the go-to man for composing music for blockbuster movies. This masterclass is a boon for any budding composer who wants to break into the movie scoring profession. With the master teaching his tricks, this class packs an informative punch. The class is not only based on the composing part but revolves around the life and challenges that composers face throughout their music journey. With some valuable advice from the master, this class is everything a beginner composer needs. This huge masterclass is divided into 31 sessions. The first session is about scoring to a story. In the first session, Hans tells us about the art of creating memorable themes. He has created some groundbreaking themes in the past. He says that the key to fascinating theme regarding a story lies in keeping it simple and relatable. The second session begins with Hans discussing about his process about writing for a story. He shares with us his approach and thought process when he composes a melody that will stick with the listener for a long time. Just a simple note or a key combination can do wonders if produced the right way. In the next session, Hans teaches you how he works with his fellow directors. A healthy relationship between the director and the composer is a must in order to have a successful scoring. Hans says that he always sits down and talks with the author about his vision towards the movie. Therefore, he is able to attach that vision into sound and give the best. The fourth session is a continuation of the previous session. Here, we get to learn about the art of having a fruitful conversation with the director. The director's thoughts should be able to influence you into creating something that he wants from the story. Every director is unique and each of them brings a new perspective into playing while discussing about the scene. Hence, one strategy will not work for all of them. Continuing into the last session of this session, Hans talks about how a composer should always be ready to grasp what the director has to throw at him. At the end of the day, the director is the boss on the set, but that should not stop you from suggesting him some key changes or giving inputs towards a better outcome. The second session of this masterclass is about creating of the score. One thing that Hans is famous for is his unique sound palettes. In this session, he describes his approach to these palettes and teaches us a way to do the same. It is intriguing to see that few complex, smaller steps lead on something like a masterpiece. Synthesizers has been Hans' most robust instrument. He has used the synth for majority of his compositions. Here in this session, he describes how he uses synth as he creates a song or a melody from the scratch. The process are delightful to hear and you can clearly see a huge project building. Every scene is not the same. So, in the case with the music behind it, the third session deals with scoring different types of scenes. The key point is what the composer feels the scene needs. You have to go with your gut and find a perfect melody for it. More importantly, finding that the scene may not require any sound at all is also a good thing when it comes to composition. The fourth session had Hans describe to us about the importance of dialogue. Dialogues play a pivotal role in scenes and so do sound. Hence, it is a composer's job to bridge the gap between the dialogue and the music in order to create a good sync. In many cases, the background music does a much better job at portraying a scene than the dialogue does. The fifth session is all about learning about tempo. In order to come through with the tempo, you must figure out what your editor thinks about it. Sometimes you score a whole scene and then only one part of it makes to the final cut. Hence, the knowledge of how your editor is going to operate will save you some quality time and efforts when it comes to scoring for scenes. The sixth session is a case study. Hans tells us about how he scored a scene from the movie Sherlock Holmes. Hans felt that the scene was an editing masterclass. He was so excited about putting the score down because there were so many elements attached to the scene. Knowing what kind of attachment your editor have with specific scenes is a boon for any composer. The last session of this section is related to creating a music diary. Hans lets us catch a glimpse of his musical diary. The transition from talking to the director about the movie and then starting at your computer for hours to make a music can be pretty boring. But with good determination, you can create masterpieces out of thin air. Hans simply does a layer after layer of music and progresses with ease while letting his thoughts flow. The next section is dedicated to creating character themes. In the first session, Hans discussion how he gets to know about his characters to create a theme for them. He says that when he reads the character lines, he becomes the character. You must find a person who can give you a better sense of who the character is. Maybe it's the actor himself or maybe it's the director. You need to dig deep until you get a sense of what the character is all about. Moving on to the next section. Here, Hans tells us about how he created the theme for everyone's favorite DC superhero, the Batman. The Batman's theme is easily recognizable and there is a reason for it. The bottom line is that it is simple and it uses two note devices. Figuring out whether the tune fits in an important part of having a successful score. Not every tune has the ability to become a theme for the character. Joker is Hans' favorite villain, so he created an epic theme for him as well. Hans never thought about Joker as a bad guy. He felt that he was the only character that tells you the truth all the time. Hence, rather than focusing on the evil, he related the theme to a sort of punk attitude for the Joker. It is a job of composer to find what lies into the heart of the character and then associate a tune with it. The last session of this section deals with theme creation for Jack Sparrow. The theme started with Hans figuring out a language of how he can describe the movie. The family notes that he has attached to the character is overall sound that he could attach to the pirate community. Rather than going from the character to the tune, Hans let the tune define the character. With this process, the theme stuck to the hearts of the audience. Now we move on to two of the case studies for composing. The first one is about the movie Frost. He felt that this play was like a boxing match without anyone putting on the gloves. The composer can make the audience like or dislike the character. He describes his approach towards introducing the character to the audience. Many musical components are discussed in this scene. The second section focuses on the movie, The Dark Knight. The boat scene from the movie is pretty intense, but Hans' job was to make it the most intense scene in the superhero movie. Hans was super happy that the action scene contained no action at all. He actually found this interesting and challenging. Hans telling us how he combined a slow utter sound with fast-paced music underneath it. The following section is highly interesting and informative. The session is about working with the musicians. A good composer must share a good relationship with the musician in order to communicate with them. He describes how the theme for Wonder Woman came about. The score was so good because of the musicians behind it. You as a composer must always experiment with music and instruments in order to create something really unique. The next section has Hans discussing about working with the orchestra. He says that the art of communicating with a band of musicians is something that needs to be practiced. Anyone can make music out of the computer, but in order to create something remarkable, you need to have an integration of ideas and thoughts. A composer must be friendly and professional with his musicians at the same time. It is his foremost task to attain the musicians' respect and trust. The final session is a continuation of the past session. Here Hans describes how he gets the best out of his orchestra. He says that recording sessions are brutal yet very productive if you have exceptional musicians at your disposal. A part of composer's job is to know what the musicians are feeling. You must have musicians who can take positive criticism and apply them for the betterment of the score and make unique masterpieces. Here we are at the end of this amazing journey. The last session strikes with a personal chord with all the people associated with music one way or the other. The first session teaches you how to take feedback from people. The thing about music, according to Hans, is that it is indefensible. You either like it or you don't like it. Here you will see how Hans rewrites a score which does not get the reaction that he hoped for. Some minor changes here and there can make the whole vibe that is attached with the score. The second session has Hans teach us about how to create and take criticism and put it into practice. He seldom gets unsatisfactory review, but when he does, he makes sure he works on them. Moving on to the next session, Hans gives you some tips and tricks based on his approach to writing music. He says, with adequate practice, you will develop a muscle memory to the chords and the sounds. Keeping up with the writing, Hans tells us that it's important that we do not put our creativity on a hold. You should let your thoughts fly and find inspiration in anything and everything. In the following session, Hans describes his incredible journey. The odds that this man faced are insane. He says that he has been lucky enough to get to the level that he is operating on now. In this session, Hans focuses on the art of learning by listening. You must be surprised to know that Hans never went out to a music school, so his skills to adapt to a sound and orchestra with minor teaching of music is a sum of his hard work. Coming towards the end of this wonderful masterclass, we have Hans throwing some light on the life of a composer. All the artists struggling with challenging But if you are creative enough, you will thrive. You must have a side hustle to support your career financially. So now, why did Hans Zimmer pursue music composition? This session gives you an insight into the choices that Hans had to make in order to become a composer and taking his work to the next level. The end of session of masterclass is a sweet recording of Hans saying his parting words. He motivates us by saying that every risk you take to move forward is worth it. Pro advice: always listen to your director. Alright guys, this course is a must watch for all the budding producers and composers. If you are a musician or an instrumentalist, this masterclass will do incredible amount of good to you and your career. So now, let's talk about some pros of this masterclass. First, amazing camera work. Second, crisp and clear descriptions. Third, in-depth analysis of film scores. Fourth, a personal touch given by Hans Zimmer. I personally found this masterclass to be inspiring. I have been listening to Hans' music for a long time and I absolutely love his ability to combine sound and create something unique. I have heard and had a newfound respect for all the composers who work towards the success of the movie. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this review video. We would like to hear your thoughts about the same in the comment section below. Also, I highly recommend Film Scoring Masterclass course by Hans Zimmer. And if you wish to pursue this, you can find all the details to this masterclass in the description box below. Also, if you really like this review video, then please hit the like and share this video. And for more such videos, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And one last thing before leaving, don't forget to hit the bell icon because every time we come online, you will get notified. Signing off, this was Shamli Shivalkar from Bloggers Ideas. We'll see you very soon with amazing and knowledgeable videos. Stay tuned.